In 2020, my company, Milestone Wealth, bought this building. Now, we realized that we needed a lot of work to get this up to the standard for our clients. About that time, I met a wonderful young lady by the name of Carley Summers. For those of you that know Carley, you know she has a certain style for her interior design. However, I wanted to go in a different direction. And when I asked Carley if she could do it, she said, "Dave, I've never done that before, but I'd love to give it a try." Now, this office structurally was very sound, but we also knew it needed a lot of work. For example, we had to take out quite a few walls, didn't we?
We did. There were a lot of walls in here, and it wasn't a nice flow. It didn't have as necessarily a big of an open concept as we wanted, so we were able to take some walls down and really just add a neutral but masculine palette to the space that really felt like it matched Dave and his needs.
So we wanted to have a lobby that when people walked in, it was just very peaceful, calming, but also had a good energy. So how did you accomplish that?
Well, first off, we wanted to make sure that the flooring felt light, but also have, interesting elements to it. So we did an actual herringbone on the floor, which added a really interesting dimension to the space. We also added a leather tufted sofa that added a modern but masculine feel, but then we did light swivel chairs so their clients could move around and sit comfortably. We did a concrete coffee table, and we really focused a ton on the light fixtures within the space. We wanted to modernize it, but keep it clean and add really architectural interesting elements. And also the windows were all arched, and we wanted to make sure that we focused on that type of architecture throughout the space and added a modern flair. We also painted the windows a high gloss black so that the windows could make an impact and a statement, and we continued that arch on the window throughout the space, which you'll see soon.
This is our client meeting room. This is where we sit down with clients, and we're having very important discussions about their finances. So we want it to be very calming, just a safe, comfortable place that they're willing to sit down and share with us. So tell us, how did you achieve that?
Well, we continued the herringbone floor throughout here, and we continued to keep the walls white. We also continued to add that a little bit of drama to the windows, again, where we painted them high gloss black. But we wanted a round table. We wanted it to feel community-based. Everyone can look at each other. Everyone can feel involved. We went with a marble top tulip table, a neutral rug, and we again focused on really interesting light fixtures to enhance the architecture, but also make it feel neutral and a really calming space. One of the main architecture features we wanted to have in Dave's space are these arches. We made sure that they had smooth, round edges, almost a plaster feel throughout the space. And what's so cool is how we flanked sconces throughout the hallway to just enhance the architecture. You can see right here, we went with linear, and just with different angles and the way that the arches go, the sconces just are the best feature.
Now, Carley, this is a neat space. It's our break room. And what was unique about it before we moved in, it was teal and purple cabinets. Yes, we knew it needed a refresh. So what was your thought process as far as what we did in here?
So I wanted to make sure that it was open, again, felt airy. We continued the arches throughout the space to add interesting architecture, but we wanted it to feel open, easily accessed. We also did a custom bench for, his employees and him can sit down and have a lunch break. We added open shelving because he doesn't need a ton of stuff, and we made sure that it was functional with a wine fridge and just simplicity so that the architecture could speak and that the kitchen would just be a neutral space.
So Carley, this is my office,
yep.
And I had a little bit extra space in here, and you came up with an idea that I just wasn't thinking about. So tell us about this area.
Well, I knew that so many offices focus so much on the desk and that type of area, and I felt like because you had such a linear space, we could add smaller sized furniture to create a custom seating area for you to, step away from the normal conference room, sit with your clients, have a cup of coffee, share a great conversation with. And we were able to create this really fun furniture from my custom furniture line. And the cool part about it is I remember showing you the fabrics for this, and some of them are more predictable, and I thought something that you would go with. And he ended up choosing the cinnamon colored velvet, something that I really wanted him to go with, and it just really maximized that kind of modern but chicness to the office, that look that you were going for. And the furniture is smaller, so it fits really well in the space, and it's been so good to hear about you and your clients being able to hang in here, have chats, and it's just been a comfortable and relaxing space for you in your office. I just love the linear feel of his office. We also did a stand-up desk for him that was made by a local craftsman here, Bear Creek Studios, so that was awesome to be able to invest in a local business. And just the overall feel of the office continues to be that modern look that you were going for, but it's comfortable, which is important.
This room was actually 3 separate offices, and we really did not need that many offices, so we took out some walls.
We did.
And we created a room that is just magnificent. Now, when you described how you wanted to design this room, I could not really grasp it. And I said, you know what? I trust you. You do it. And it just turned out beautiful. Tell us about it.
I will say, and I appreciate you saying that, this is probably one of my favorite rooms. And I remember when we were going through the process of designing this and talking about taking down the walls, you know, we were gonna continue to paint those windows black. But I remember when I first told you that I want to paint the ceilings, the walls, and the trim all the same color.
Oh my.
Yeah, and I think sometimes with commercial spaces, you know, it's hard for us to kind of get outside the box. And that's what I really wanted to do with this space, and again, make it not feel like it's located in Eastern North Carolina. And so what we did is we painted the walls, the trim, and the ceilings Stillwater by Sherwin-Williams. And you know, that name is, you know, he leads me beside still waters, I think was very pertinent to you and your company and what happens here in this conference room.
Yeah, speaking of that, one thing I've done is intentionally built this conference room to share with the community. So for nonprofits, they have the ability to come in here, use this conference room for a meeting space, for their boards. We have a local nonprofit, they're trying to raise money, so their capital committee has met here 3 times already. So we want it to be used by the community to advance the community in godly ways.
Yeah, it's a blessing not only to you, but also a blessing to our community, which I think is so special and so important when, you know, you're investing, you know, into a space. Like, how can it not only bless you, but steward it to bless other people? And I think that was a big word for us as well. And you know, when we continued with the design of the space, we wanted a really, really long conference table. And I will say I searched the market and tried to find one that was large enough, but I knew again I wanted something custom with the wood tone and the base that we were able to custom design with also Bear Creek Studios Lee. And the table and the finish is so beautiful. We ended up doing a black leather rolling chair with brass arms. And then one of my favorite details of the space is the light fixture in the middle. I definitely think that's what people come in and go, wow, that's super interesting. And that's the thing, we wanted the space to feel interesting, yet calming and peaceful. And I definitely think we achieved that in this space.
You did achieve it.
We did.
Way to go, Carly. Thank you.
So when we knocked down the 3 offices, we knew we wanted to connect the space and make it feel so open. So me and Dave custom designed this wall with a local company, and we knew we wanted it to be a black frame with glass, and I feel like it elevated the space. It again feels so modern and different from what you see from other local offices, and I just love the feature wall.